Oh man, what a feel-good performance by Linda Sikhakhane on another Feel-Good Friday. Yes, welcome to another one. It's Trendz live on SABC. But you can call me Mne. We're still celebrating Legacy Month, and if you couldn't go out yesterday to do your 67 minutes for Nelson Mandela, then maybe take the rest of the month. Don't worry, it's still not done. Go out there and make a difference in your community. We're also really excited to see how you celebrated the day, so you can send us those images and those videos on X. Our handle is @Trendz on SABC. Kicking start the show tonight is a true South African media extraordinaire. If we had to talk about and mention all the things that Lethabo Lejoy Mathatho has done in her life, we'd definitely be here the whole night. But let's give you a synopsis. She started her career in 2006 with 2 popular commercial radio stations before joining the SABC. She's no stranger to the SABC TV audience. Lethabo Lejoy was the presenter of Leihlo la Sechaba as well as an actress on Scheme Sam. And these days you can listen to her on Matela FM. Let's go meet this dynamic force.
Hello Trenders, come with me as we explore the fabulous life of Lethabo Lejoy Mathatho. She is a Matela FM breakfast show queen, she's an MC, she's an actress, and in fact, a really popular reality TV star. Let's go spend a day in her life. Lethabo Lejoy Mathatho.
Another thing that people don't know, they experienced me from TV and they thought I was a newbie, and little did they know that actually I've been in the industry. It's just that they knew much of my voice but not so much of my face.
You are chasing 20 years as a broadcaster. Where did it all begin for you?
I think the love of radio started, and it didn't hit me very young. It hit me at the time where your Justice Ramotlola was with Metro, our sister station, and Mapaseka Makweli, then Mapaseka Makoti, as I was listening to her. So what I will do is take a newspaper and just say to my mom, sit down, let me read news for you, and I'll sign up as Lethabo Mathatho for Metro FM. Let me tell you something that I usually don't talk much about. In my second year, my mom lost her job and it was very difficult. I didn't have a bursary because Matela cash. So when certain things happen in life, they teach you to now be not the best but extraordinary.
You have been nominated for a Basadi in a Music Award for Radio Presenter of the Year. How do you feel?
It's a blessing, man. It's a blessing. I think having to be sitting on the chair doesn't matter which show you are doing, but having to sit on the chair, it's such a great responsibility that people, I think, they might not see it, but you can't come here empty in your head. You have to, one thing, after 3:30 when I wake up, I'm wondering what happened when I was sleeping. I have to be ahead. I have to know what is happening. And that is not so easy for everyone to come and translate those things on air. People think it's such a small job, but to have someone listen to you until 9, you gotta be like very entertaining and informative as possible. We are off to my fitting for the Basadi in music, and the theme, my God, it's mirrors, it's reflection, it's Arieng, and I'm just wondering if my person will deliver. Yes, fingers crossed. Let's go.
Let's go meet fashion designer Khotso and find out what elements we can expect from the dress.
So essentially we'll be using your organza, the one that like mimics the tone of your skin. It literally takes the tone of your skin when you use it. And we'll be using some diamantes, of course, to bring in the glitz so that it can shine through during the night. And then these beads, we'll be using them somewhere down.
From the SABC Radio Park to a dress consultation, we now find ourselves at Lejoy's hideout. Now here, we get to find out the tea on Lethabo, the entrepreneur. Hello, gorgeous lady.
Hello, gorgeous.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
I thought I should come and interrupt this very beautiful gathering. So, Lejoy, why venture into tea?
It's quite interesting how it actually started. I never liked tea growing up because I was the maker of tea at home. After every 5 minutes, let's have a really mate. Or mama like, oh guys, like tea girl, you know. So until I actually got to tertiary, and when I miss home, I would have a cup of tea. So I was like missing making it, but I wanted just that feeling. So basically it brings conversations, and what I was looking at it was, I need conversations about healing. I need this tea to bring conversations, not only just conversation as we're spilling the tea, but can it be conversations of growth? Can it be conversations of healing? Did I make a mistake when I was thinking conversations of healing? My tea is about healing.
You know, one thing about Lethabo, she has actually mastered most of the things when it comes to the entertainment industry. You've just said, or you've just mentioned the whole Lethabo as, you know, the TV personality, as the radio personality. She's mastered that. And I just love Lethabo, the businesswoman.
In July, we celebrate former President Nelson Mandela's birthday and heed the call to action for people to recognize their individual power to make an imprint and change the world around them. What's your message to young people who want to build a lasting legacy?
I think people should stop first depending on others to bring something to you. Nobody's here to bring. People only help you when they see that you're doing your best. So you don't sit and wait. You do, and that's when we'll help you.
We truly wish her all the best. Now, onto a combination of music and dance, Songbird Miss Hilary is making great strides in the entertainment industry. The Soweto-born star, popularly known for her XiTsonga music, is on to further pursuits. Our very own Dintle Muleketi put on the traditional XiTsonga attire and joined in a cultural and fashion experience in Joburg, Johannesburg. Have a look.
Guys, you will remember that she is one of South Africa's greatest Tsonga performers. Miss Hilary, believe it or not, has now transitioned from music and has her own clothing range. Thank you so much for joining us, Miss Hilary. You are so dynamic and so versatile.
I think I've always loved fashion. It was shown in the way, I would dress on stage. In my pictures, if you see my social media, hey, that Tsonga girl has always been up. So yeah, I got into fashion because if I'd post something or a video like wearing something, someone would be like, I need that skirt, where did you get it? I'm like, girl, I put one and one together, I got two, so let me plug you. That's how it started actually. And as I got a few sales, I was like, I can turn this fun thing into a business. And so Miss Hilary PTY.
Why is it so close to your heart to be designing Tsonga garments?
So I think being an African defines me, and it's one thing that I always say, like I love being African. Africanity is everything to me. Me being able to design Tsonga clothes, it makes me not just modern, but like a cool modern kid, because I'm trying to show everyone that you can be traditional and cool at the same time. So this is a beaded shibelani. It's made with beads. So if you take a close look, these are the small beads, and they create this design and detail. So shibelani is one long, material which is sewed into a beautiful skirt. Are beads. So these are waist beads, and we have ones which you can wear over your neck, which are these ones. Yeah, and then hibanan cheka. So the thing about cheka, there are these ones with prints, where in the olden days you have them in print only. We have headpieces, our headbands.
Well, I really do love the clothing range. It goes from little children to adults, and mostly it's very sporty because, for example, it's not only suitable for weddings or traditional, it's something that you can rock up every day, any day, when you want to look good, because there are different pieces.
It's giving high fashion vibes, it's giving award ceremonies.
Let me take you through it. So I'm wearing firstly a headpiece. So this headpiece is a crown. So each and every lady is supposed to wear a headpiece to cover their head. And then as you can see, I'm wearing a mcheka. So this mcheka is not your normal flowers. This one is very high fashion and it's so modern because now we require silk material into it. And inside it, there is a top that is still matching with the attire. So with this one, you can see it's having modern fashion.
Miss Hilary, we're very proud of her. We're very proud of her range, her clothing. It symbolizes our culture. It uplifts our culture. And through her clothing, we get to remember our roots and know where we're going.
In conjunction with XiTsonga Fashion Brilliance, Miss Hilary also hosts dance classes, with attendees clad in the seemingly heavy, colorful, and intricately designed skirts called ishibelani. I couldn't resist participating. Notice how rigorous waist movement is the basis of the dance. What do your classes entail?
Right now we are doing shibelani dance, we kumbalwa tingubu, and we are all dancing shibelani, having fun, making friends, exercising, because it's very important. It's a full body cardio session. You'll sweat, you'll burn some calories, and I mean, you keep fit, and you're also, when you're fit, we can run 5 kilometers, you'll be fine. Everybody is welcome. Mothers can bring their daughters, their siblings. You can bring your bestie. Doesn't matter if they're male, they're female. Everybody is welcome because this is a place where we have fun, we learn, and we network.
It's more than just a dance class, but it's also a form of exercise for us. And most of all, I like to involve my kids. As you can see, every time I come with the kids because it's a beautiful experience for the kids. It's important that we also instill into the upcoming generation all our culture and tradition.
I had a lot of fun and I enjoyed the colorful clothes, and I like dancing with the other people. Let me show you the skirt.
When I saw Miss Hilary's physique, I was in awe because she's so shaped. It's like an hourglass. So when she told me that she's been dancing shibelani and that has been a contributing factor to how she looks, I was like, okay, maybe I should try this to try and shape up the girl, So it's different from normal gym because you get to exercise and still have fun at the same time.
How are these classes an amazing way for you to enhance or instill culture?
I think, especially when we have, young people, it makes me feel like they're taking, a piece of culture with them. So it makes me also feel like an influencer in that, circle or realm. Most people who come here are not even Tsonga. So it's me taking our traditional culture out there for everybody to learn about.
What a pleasure it's been spending time with musician Miss Hilary. I absolutely loved wearing the clothing, and even better, feel so much energized because, hey, who knew that I could have so much fun dancing XiTsonga?
Ah, man, having a good time. I wish I was there to dance with Didi, but it's okay. Listen, we're going to take a quick ad break. When we come back, we sit down for an exclusive panel that you don't want to miss out on. You're still tuned in to Trendz Live. You're still watching Trendz Live on SABC. Now, English artist Henry Moore once said, to be an artist is to believe in life. Artists are not only known for believing in life, but they also inspire so many people to do the same. One of the wonders why a lot of artists, especially in South Africa, are never given the recognition, the reverence, the respect, and most importantly, the money that they deserve. In today's panel discussion, we'll explore this along with the recent developments around the COVID-19 Relief Fund list for artists, which was recently released by the new Sports, Arts and Culture Minister, Gayton McKenzie. This list has caused a lot of controversy, especially in the world of art. And tonight we'll be looking at what are the repercussions of this and perhaps what can we learn from this. My guests today are renowned opera singer Sibongile Mngoma, award-winning actor and chairperson of South African Guild of Actors, JEC, Devneranian, and composer, author and researcher Billy Monama. Thank you so much for joining us on Trendz Live. Today, Sibongile is joining us from Bloemfontein. How are you, Sisi?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you? And hello to your viewers and my fellow artists in the studio.
We're doing fantastic, thank you. Now, Sibongile, I want to start with you. You were probably at the beginning of all of this when we heard about the 300 million rand President's Economic Stimulus Program, and we're trying to figure out where the money was distributed. I want to find out what happened. Take us through that moment when you eventually decided to go and occupy the offices of the National Arts Council, who are the custodians of these funds.
Okay, so I did not go to the NAC to occupy the NAC. I went to the NAC to get answers because they were not responsive. And they were hiding behind the fact that people were working remotely. So when I went there, I just wanted to get some answers. And so when we got there the first day, it was just a couple of us. And then by the time we got a meeting with Julie for the second one, then it was quite a few artists that showed up. About 50 artists showed up. And when they left us in the room and they didn't come back, that is how we decided, okay, we'll stay until you come back so that we can get the answers that we're looking for. Not that we decided to occupy the building. We just waited for them to return. They just never did. And so 60 days later, we then eventually left, but they never returned.
My goodness me. I can imagine that one of the questions that you had and were looking for answers for is, what is the criteria for receiving this money? Did you ever get that answer? What is the criteria, or what was the criteria?
Look, for the NAC, the monies had already been allocated, and some people had even signed their contracts. And they were being told that because the money is not enough, suddenly their monies were being, budgets were being cut in half. So you've already signed a contract, and your budget is now suddenly being cut in half when you're already committed to what it is that you're doing. So it's no longer even about the criteria, it's about a breach of contract. So that had to be sorted out, and we had to find out what is going on. And then when you look at the list also, now that's when you get to the criteria. The people that were not even artists or creatives had already been paid. Their full amounts, not even, you know how it works, there's a first tranche and then the second tranche. They were paid full amounts without first tranches or second tranches. And so there was quite a big problem there. And so already there were also lawsuits. There was a lot going on. It was quite crazy.
My goodness me. I mean, look, Jack, I want to come to you. Whenever we speak about artists and things pertaining to artists in this country, then things like contracts come up and there's just a lot going on. Talk to me about what goes through your mind when you hear Sibongile speaking like this and we're having this conversation today.
We shared Sibongile's concerns at the time. 300 million rand is a lot of money. And I think also this is where, as part of your introduction, you mentioned that the minister had released the list of COVID fund recipients. There was an immediate confusion between the list of recipients that was released and the idea or the insinuation that these legitimate recipients were in fact people who were receiving project grant funding. And the two are not the same. The minister said that he was looking to eradicate the kind of graft that exists in his department, where people who are repeatedly receiving funding and not delivering anything for that funding. And what was in fact happening was that there were artists, 3,000, more than 3,000 artists, who had work that was cancelled. And we were receiving COVID relief funding because we were in lockdown. We literally couldn't work. In another sense, you also had more than 2 million workers in the organized labor world. They were receiving COVID relief funding as well. It was called the TERS funding. It was coming through the UIF. But as performers, as freelancers, we are not protected under the Unemployment Insurance Fund. We couldn't really receive that funding. And that is why the minister at the time had made funding available to us. And yes, more than 3,000 recipients were all contained on a list. That does not mean that the people on that list were somehow unfairly receiving grant project funding.
Well, I mean, there is a lot of contention around that list, because then the morality behind releasing that list, because the minister was like, we need to be transparent. Taxpayers need to know where their money is going and what's happening. But talk to me, maybe I'll bring it to you, Billy. Do you think it was necessary to release that list?
Well, I mean, that list is too late, because it was already published from 2020, and also the second wave of COVID. There was another, funding that we got that in 2021. So that list has been published already. I don't understand why is it now a controversy. It was even made. It was public, and also the call of the application of the funding. It was not secret. It was open to the public. That's how many of us, we knew about this call. We applied just like anyone. We didn't commit crime. So now when the new minister comes in and then he wants transparency by using the list that is already been published, for me, I was confused. And you must understand, during that time we are vulnerable. What we have lost is more than what we received. From the beginning of the year of 2019, when was it? COVID 2020. I had bookings from March until July. Those bookings, if I can tell the minister to pay them, he can't. So, but he gave me like about 20,000, and then people, they are calling me. They are making comments, condescending comments that, oh, beneficiary, you can't talk about everything. But now, the most important thing, I've already told the people the creditors, that I lost job. So now those people now, because this thing is making controversy, is now everywhere. They are going to that thing like, Billy, you said that you were not working. How did you get that money? Well, look,
I think there's a lot that we squashed into that one, but I think the biggest premise of the cry out in the country is not necessarily the list existing or it being published. It speaks to maybe the dignity of the people who are on that list. I don't know, maybe Jack, you can speak to that, because it kind of is demeaning, to say, now my name is appearing on this list, to say that I received 10,000 rand, and I don't know, it's a dignity issue.
Performers themselves have no issue with their names being on a list. If you are receiving public funding or money from an institution that is a government institution, this is public money in effect. Artists don't have a problem with having their name on that list, or even having that list being published. And as Billy mentioned earlier, the list that was released by the minister had already been released. It was in the public domain since 2020. It's the manner in which the list is being presented to the media that's going to make all the difference. So, of course, our names are on that list. We received funding. That was COVID relief funding, which cannot be confused with grant funding that was supposed to generate income or to start up some kind of production project. It's not the same. So let's be very clear about what the purposes are, and to be able to approach that very clearly with the media and the public at large.
I absolutely understand that. Sibongile, I want to come back to you. You detailed on your Instagram and that you said you were owed money by the Department of Arts and Culture. Tell me a bit more about that. Is that part of the economic stimulus program money? What was that about?
No, that had nothing to do with PESP. The money that I was owed came from, we were asked to apply for the MGE unsolicited funds because I've always said that I don't believe in applying for government funding because I've never received it. I didn't even receive COVID relief funding, so I just don't believe in applying for it. So that money was the money for the choir to go to the World Choir Games. So in January, by the time I had to, when schools had opened, I had taken my own personal money to pay off the debt that I was left over with by the trip for the students to go to the World Choir Games. And the department hadn't paid me, and that's what I was owed. Not because it had anything to do with COVID funding or anything. That was the trip to the World Choir Games for the choir, the students. So that had nothing to do with COVID. It had nothing to do with grants and anything. It had everything to do with, they asked us to apply because they heard that we were going to the World Choir Games. And when we applied, then the officials decided that Sibongile is not worthy of that money because it's Sibongile, forgetting that it's not Sibongile, but it's the children that are going to the World Choir Games.
Sure. It's interesting to me.
There's a lot that happens in that space that needs to be cleaned up because, like Jack says, it's how it's presented to the media and how it's read as if most Sibongile have big mouths and yet they are being supported by government. That's why I'm not in favor of the hashtag that says DSAC cares. When DSAC doesn't care, and artists have died, artists have lost their houses, artists are losing spaces in school, people have lost their vehicles, people are divorced because life was not happening at home. And then you can't then come out with a hashtag that says DSAC cares when people have lost everything. And then you bring out lists to prove that all these people who have a big mouth actually benefit from the department. It's not true, because then I didn't benefit. That was for the kids. I don't get paid for the trip, but it has to, everything, that money pays for the kids. And the report was already sent, an audited report that tabled everything that was done with every cent, minus the money that I was still owed. On top of that, I had added my own money. So no, that had nothing to do with COVID relief.
All right. Look, I think we can agree now that there is a fresh environment in the country, brand new administration. I also saw that applications are open for the economic stimulus program again, so the artists can apply. Jack, if you had to sit down with the new Minister of Sports, Arts and Culture, what advice would you maybe give to him going forward in terms of fostering a cohesive working relationship with artists and the sector?
Fortunately, we've had a few occasions to sit with the minister, and we impressed on him the importance of cleaning up his own department as well, something that he's taken on board and he's very serious about. So it's not just a matter of allocating funding, for example. It's also about who sits on the adjudication committee that awards people the funding. What are the expectations on the side of the department? Are there deliverables that have to be met? Are the recipients going to be audited in terms of we gave you a certain amount of funding, what do we get in return? So these are some of the things that were being discussed, and we were very, very pleased to see that the minister is as serious about supporting and funding the cultural and creative industries as he is about eradicating those elements within his own department that has created the atmosphere of where people can expect to have an entire career based on receiving funding for no good reason.
I'm pretty sure that we can all agree with this. I see Billy is also nodding here, so you are co-signing.
No, for sure. I'm in agreement with all my comrades who have spoken, you know what I'm saying? Because one of the things that we can advise is that before they open a call for applications, they need to gather, you know, they need to sort out their house first, make sure that the finances are available, because after you have been approved of the funding, you still have to wait a long time to receive that money. That's why you end up, you know, using your personal money to fund that project that is meant to be funded by the government. You know, then your name is published that you received 1 million, but you still not having that million in your pocket. That is why then we get frustrated. So when you open a call having money, knowing that when that time comes, I mean, remember, we work with timelines that they are in the contract and also in the guidelines. So now if the money comes late, it delays our project.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think we can all just hope for the future to, you know, just hope that we all come together, we all listen to each other's plights. I guess that's what makes us South African, to say we are a democracy, and we can sit down with the people that are in power. We can hold them to account, and we can voice our frustrations. Thank you so much for joining us. This was truly, truly insightful. Can't wait to see the work that you continue to do in the space and, you know, championing the rights of artists in the country. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
We're going to go to a quick ad break. When we come back, it's more entertainment, more music, more lifestyle right here on Trendz Live. Welcome back to the show. You're still watching Trendz Live on SABC News. Now, the Contemporary Art Foundation has an enriching theme relating to world making. Free to the public now. The theme Ecospheres explores elements that we encounter in life, and these works of art tell us a story through photography, video pottery, fabric, and living beings. Producer Matela takes us on her tour at the Contemporary Gallery in Forest Town, Johannesburg.
Of course, we're back at JCAF, and something very exciting is happening. It's yet another exhibition, this one titled Ecospheres. We are looking at the relationship that we humans share with the environment around us, our effects, as well as the effect that nature has on us. It's a wonderful one. We will be experiencing all sorts of different art forms. Shall we take a look?
We are a relatively new art foundation. We are philanthropic. We're here to serve the public with breathtakingly amazing exhibitions. We curate a theme, runs for 3 years, and we do one exhibition a year. And this year we're looking at world making, so the human in relation to the natural world. And the exhibition is called Ecospheres. JCAF is free. It's guided tours. We've got a reader, we've got a reading room in the exhibition, and incredible immersive installations that deal with the topic of climate and nature.
And how important was it to you to make the space more than just the bright white cube?
Yeah, contextually the building's really important. Its history, it was a substation and there were electric trams here in the 1930s. So it is a red brick building, part of Joburg's heritage. It's a really extraordinary building to make exhibitions in. It is not a white cube. Contextually, it presents the artworks in really beautiful and stunning ways to the public.
This concept is divided into 3 atmospheres: water, air, and earth. Max takes us on an enriching and detailed tour.
So welcome to Atmosphere 2, where we're looking at air in relation to migration, diaspora, and kin. Now, in terms of migration, that can happen on very big scales, this idea of moving from one country to another, but it can also happen on very small scales. This work is titled Time Flies, and it's a beautiful collection of birds that the artist has either painted or sketched. The work itself was inspired by a conversation that she had with her father shortly before he passed.
The artist explores the relationship between Indian-born lineage and how she relocated to the UK. The meaning is steeped in sentimentality and what we know is within and what is passed along. The works displayed throughout the seasons are carefully curated.
So we work 3-4 years ahead, and we start to develop a concept, a theme, a major theme. So the first theme for the first 3 years was female identities in the global south. And we looked at representation of the black body through woman artists for 3 years. Now we're going into world making. So we're looking at the human in relation to nature. So we bring artists and artworks from India, from Brazil, from Africa and South Africa, putting them in dialogue together through our exhibitions, which are quite unique and special experiences.
We then come to this installation titled Ecospheres Meta, which translates as Meta's ecosystem. Now, Meta is a research initiative in Peru who's very interested in ideas of nature, ingredients, and culture, but more specifically, the ways in which identity is infused within culinary concepts. It's titled Territorio. It's basically a table that maps out the vast topography of Peru.
The food in ecosystems directly informs the kinds of meals and experiences, and it's the idea of eating the landscape.
Now, a lot of the dishes in terms of the actual plates or bowls that the food is on that you'll see in these photographs is what you'll see on the ground here. So this is part of a separate project called Earthen, where they're thinking around how soil is sculpted to create something entirely new and completely different.
In this space, you will find botanic photography, the Wolf Architects Reading Room, which echoes serenity, and a majestic hydroponic installation, which brilliantly brings to life the symbiocene of our existence.
We then come to the final work of the Ecospheres exhibition. This is the work of Peruvian artist Ximena Guerrero Leca, and she is working with lima beans. So the artist is referencing the Moche culture. They are a pre-Incan Peruvian society who is known for using very complex irrigation systems, similar to what you're seeing here. But they were also known for using lima beans as part of an ideogrammatic writing style.
The main objective is really about retention, the primary experience that visitors have when engaging with artworks and the art exhibition. So a lot of exhibitions, people spend more time reading labels or wall texts. Exhibitions can be wonderful social experiences, but the way we do it is a very quiet, very immersive experience.
Your favorite installation of this theme?
Oh, wow. Putting the curator on the spot. There are a couple of really special memories and experiences in that. So I like things that the small things in one-way work. Jonas Sack has got these incredible cloud studies, to the really big things like Zimina's plant installation. We are working on a very special show for the next 2 years. So next year, more environment, more architectural related, but looking through the art, through artists, not just architects, contextually at Africa, but also the idea of structures. What makes up a structure? We're going to go in depth into a little bit of Afrofuturism, some African astronauts in there. We got some biotechnology. We're in for a real treat. Every exhibition is unique, specially built and curated for the people.
Truly beautiful. Here's something else that's beautiful. Have you ever realized that it's been 112 years since the famous luxurious Titanic sunk? Well, the narrative of the thought to be unsinkable ship lives on, and the engineers continue to create similar models of the historic vessel. Just here in Johannesburg lies the 4th largest Titanic replica in the world. Now, you'll be thrilled to learn that it's locally designed in Mzansi, and our very own Didintle Mulekezi joined the creator of South Africa's very own Titanic in Lonehill Shopping Centre north of Johannesburg. Now, I want to find out how close this is to the original ship, and I'm sure you do too. Have a look.
Alarmed and pleasantly elated at its sight. This is not the Titanic, but the Tintanic. After traveling to 21 cities and 6 major provinces already, it's finally in Jozi to delight studio visitors. Gino, the Titanic sank in 1912 already. Why is it still such a compelling story even today?
It's compelling and it stays timeless because we can all relate to it. You know, we all think that we're indestructible, invincible, and lo and behold, you and I, we both have our own iceberg approaching. Someday it's gonna happen, you just don't know when.
What is your fascination with ships that led you to even wanting to build your own Titanic?
Everybody else in the world had a Titanic model, except me. I come from the Free State, and we didn't have Titanic models out there. So I kind of took the initiative as a kid, and I started building my own Titanic models out of cardboard box, and then sinking them in the Vol Dam. And then I'd go and build it all over again, and then I'd sink them again in somebody's swimming pool in their backyard. I got hours of fun out of it.
Made from tin, the name Tintanic already distinguishes this beauty from other models worldwide. Even though it's still a masterpiece in progress, it already has extra features that leave many in awe. How close to the original Titanic did you construct the Tintanic?
I think I did pretty good, because she's about 90% accurate. The fact that she has 4,000 rooms on the inside on 9 different deck levels, that's the staggering point. None of the other models have that. She's also the only Titanic model in the world that actually travels from city to city and place to place. She's the one that packs up, she starts up her engines, and she goes. The first class dining room is in there, the swimming pool, the grand staircases, the post office, the second class dining room, the third class cabins, the engine rooms, the boilers, it's all in there. And that's something that lacks every other Titanic model. So overall, the ship looks just like the real Titanic. And that was the main selling point. She has to take on her own personality. But the familiar things, like the 4 smokestacks are there, the 2 masts are there, the famous bow of the ship is there, the famous stern, the propellers, they're all there.
Kevin, what fascinates you about ships?
So when I was a small kid, I just started watching YouTube and I found a lot of ship videos. Then I found out about Titanic. Then I was intrigued. So I started making more research. Then I found out it sank on the same day of my birthday. I saw his work and immediately I asked for a membership and I was allowed and I started helping him create it. So initially I started helping with the sanding of the decks, and also I helped with a couple glasses and windows. One of my favorite features are the funnels and the attention to detail, but my favorite thing about it is the interior, since this is the only model that has an interior.
Why is it still relevant or important for people your age to still know about it?
It teaches important lessons about having enough lifeboats for everyone on board, and it also teaches that people should not take things for granted.
So Titanic is celebrating her 10th birthday. Tell us about the different phases and stages of production.
I decided to separate the ship into 6 individual sections and then join it all together to create one big 8.7 meter Titanic, which is 28.5 feet in length. So I started with the bridge of the Titanic because it's the most familiar feature. And the bridge of the Titanic also dictated the length, the width, and the height that my model would be. I had to keep in mind South African doorways, you know, they're only 90 centimeters wide.
And those who've witnessed the Titanic were marveled to see it.
Having a model in Jozi, I do think it's actually a good representative to show the history behind this fascinating tragedy what's been taking place. It's important for us young people to learn about the Titanic because it shows the history.
It was very surprising how real it looked. Also just having seen the movie and not really knowing what to expect. But what an amazing piece of work that Gino has done here.
A ship is called a she because there's usually a great deal of bustle around her, normally a crowd of men. And it takes an experienced seaman to handle a ship correctly. It's not the initial expense that breaks you, it's the maintenance and the upkeep. I wanted it to be a South African artwork which was truly original and unique on the big platform of the world. You mustn't confuse this with James Cameron's Titanic. This is South African stuff.
Where is the heart of the ocean?
It's at my house. I wear it from time to time, but it's a dreadful heavy thing. I wear it one.
The Tintanic Ship of Dreams, indeed evidence that dreams really do come true.
Welcome back to the show. Remember, keep those mentions coming on X. Our handle is at Trendz on SABC. Now, here's a treat for you. A showcase of the vibrant evolution of South Africa's jazz landscape. That's what saxophonist, arranger and composer Linda Sikhakhane is well known for. Born and bred in Umlazi, the musician has found a way to create a conversation between the contemporary and traditional and global landscape by peeling away societal, personal, spiritual and cultural layers. He's now in studio to tell us more about his recent project. Welcome on to the Trendz live stage. Elegant, I must say, Ngingaphaphi, Linda Sikhakhane, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much for being here. Now, I have to put you on the spot. Yesterday was Nelson Mandela Day, and you know we're celebrating Legacy Month. Did you celebrate? What did you get up to?
Yes, I did. Standard Bank and Joy of Jazz had curated this amazing outreach program for young people, which was called Jazz for Young People. So I was a part of that, and we were just, presenting workshops to young people.
Yes, you are a Standard Bank person. We are going to chat about that a little bit later on. But let's take it back to the beginning now. Briefly, who is Linda? Talk to me about Linda from Umlazi.
Yeah, well, Linda from Umlazi happens to be a saxophonist now. But of course, I was raised by amazing parents. My mom, Gugu Sikhakhane, my father, my late father, Mbongeleni Sikhakhane. I grew up in Umlazi Township, but my family comes from Kwanongoma. I have 3 siblings, Senzo, Tembile, and Thabo. And of course, I stem from a community, which is the Umlazi community, and then at large, the music community. I went through a very special school in Umlazi called Siakula Music Center, where I would say my talent was nurtured by a great master, Dr. Brian Tusi.
All right, so throughout all of this, how do you find yourself then gravitating towards the world of jazz? Because, I mean, when you're young, it's not really a genre that we like, as young people. How do you then find yourself gravitating towards that?
I guess with me, it was exposure through the school. I remember, some years ago, I was very young. I think I was 11 years old. I went to the school and there was this band rehearsing, a jazz band, and I saw a very young saxophonist playing a solo. His name is Pilani Biela, and I just thought that, wow, I just want to be like that guy,
Okay, I truly, truly love that. Talk to me about your sound, Linda. You find it somewhere in the middle of metropolitan and folkloric. How do you settle on your sound? How did you get there?
I guess for me, it's like an unending search. I wouldn't say I've gotten there yet, but it's like this constant searching. And of course, you speak about, this folkloric sound, which is, inherent, something that I cannot, run away from. And I guess as I grow, I try to understand the importance of knowing myself in order to navigate this space. For me to navigate into the future, I need to know where I come from. So that's really where I source inspiration from.
I truly love that. And then finding your sound, you then go through, you win awards, you have all these amazing projects, and one of them is the one that's upcoming now called Iladi. Talk to me about that very, very quickly. What's the project about? Just chat to me about it.
Well, Iladi is a very special project. It's my fourth album. It came out last week, Friday. And really, Iladi is a way for me to pay gratitude to where the music comes from, to pay gratitude to all the guidances that one has been, fortunate enough to have, in navigating this life of music. So Iladi really speaks to those kind of things which are really close to my heart.
Oh man, we absolutely love it. Linda, we're so proud of you. Congratulations on everything that you have achieved such far. I mean, I know you won Best Jazz Album at the Summers 2022 Standard Bank Award.
Nominated.
Oh, nominated. Sorry. But you deserve the win. You deserve the win. And in our hearts, you definitely are a winner. We wish you all the best, and we cannot wait for all your other projects because truly you do take us on a journey, and we really do feel the storytelling in your music. So we absolutely wish you you all the best, and we're truly proud of you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Man, that's how we close off the show tonight. Thank you so much for allowing us into your homes. We'll be back again next week, Friday, 8 p.m., exclusive to SABC News Channel 404. Playing us now out is the incredible Linda Sikhakhane. My name is XiTsonga, but you can call me Mne. For myself and the rest of the team, for now, until next time, from our hearts to yours. Au revoir, bye-bye.
Thank you.